By now, most of you have seen the disturbing footage of anti-Muslims trespassing the ICC Masjid grounds while bringing children along the way to share the hate. This was extremely disturbing, as this is the go-to masjid for my family. I remember my mom and dad bringing all of us 12 siblings to the ICC Muslim community to play on the playground, socialize with friends, and listen to lectures. And I remember vividly on January 5th of 2011 when my father passed away and was placed in the funeral van heading towards Rahma Cemetery. What was extremely disturbing is some of the statements that they were saying about where we placed the deceased in the funeral van. And for those who've missed it, here's a short clip from the video.
Alright, get off that. You know what filth is on there? Yeah, get off. Muslims have been on there. Yeah. Goats, all their sex goats in there.
When it comes to those who've come to pass, that is not something you ever disrespect or denote, as these are loved ones who will never return and are worthy of respect and honor regardless of where they come from, who they are, their nationality, or their background. Now, the way the ICC Muslim community responded to this type of hate was by hosting an event called Love and Coffee, organized by the amazing Executive Director of CARE, Imran Sadiqi, with the intent to bring us all together and unite us as one to show the world that love overcomes hate. The response from our American allies exceeded my expectation, as well as my Muslim community. It was beautiful to see all people from different faiths, nationalities, different backgrounds coming together to stand with us as one in accordance to respond directly to what occurred here at the ICC Tempe Muslim community. Despite the false, bigoted information about Islam and Muslims, despite the direct threats our future Senate, Deidre Hill-Aboud, had to endure,
America does not comply with our U.S. Constitution. And how does that happen? Because we get corrupt elected officials into office. Just like that one that's running. What's her name? Deidre Aboud, Muslim, running.
and stating that the kids' playground is disease-ridden.
That's some kind of evil thing? I don't know. I know, but I know that I'm not letting the kids touch any of it. Disease-ridden. All right.
We will continue to invite our American allies with open arms to bring their children to our playgrounds. We will continue to represent our faith for what truly Islam stands for, and we will continue to unite as one nation under God. And we will rise.
Communities are under attack. What do we do? When our communities are under attack, what do we do? When our communities are under attack, what do we do?
So glad you're still here, as towards the Love and Coffee event, we pass the mic around to truly hear the honest and genuine voices of our American allies and Muslim community here in Tempe, Arizona. And what they had to say was truly heartwarming. So grab your kids, make some coffee, and enjoy the show.
I think the vast majority of the people in the United States, I'd like to think, are not small-minded and prejudiced. They just don't think, and they don't think about the effect that hate can have. And when I read that story in the newspaper, I saw the prospect of 2 small children, or more than that, being taught hate and taught that differences are bad instead of something to be celebrated. And then I thought about people who might be of the Muslim faith or something, who might see that speech and have that say, oh, well, they will never accept us. And we would start that cycle going on both sides, and it would just keep leading us to where we are. And that's why I'm here, is to try and learn a little bit more and show my support and help out however I can.
Lauren Kuby from the Tempe City Council, and on behalf of the Mayor, Mark Mitchell, and the rest of the Council, I want to just tell you that hate is not welcome in our community. And as a mother, and as a climate change activist, as an ASU employee, as a member of this community, and I'm so I'm so proud to see the turnout today and to know that we are here gathered together in love. And I want to just say, November 2018 is coming up, so please, as you've heard today, vote. And if an elected official is not doing their job, let's fire them.
God gave me this idea last night, and we want to leave something with them so that they remember how much their community stands behind them. So I wrote down this message, and thank you all so much for signing it. I'd like to leave it with the board president and with the imam, and invite you to remember that no one should ever have to face hate alone. Your community loves you very much. We, as this message says, you are a very valuable part of this community, and you should never have to face any adversity alone. So thank you for being here.
So I was really emotional when this happened, because when this happened and when I saw this video, I was actually filing out the paperwork to go on medical leave, and kind of taking a break from being a student. And so I was like, I'm so exhausted, there's so much stuff going on, and then I realized that us allies don't really have the time to be exhausted. Because while we may be exhausted sitting in our privilege and dealing with whatever else is going on in our life, our Muslim brothers and sisters, our sisters and brothers of color, and our friends who are non-binary and transgender, they are so exhausted every day, not just by life, but what happens to them when they walk outside of their door. And I realized that, like me, so many of us, we don't have time to be exhausted. I know so many of us are busy. I know so many of us are ready to just go home and take a nap and enjoy our weekend, but it doesn't stop there. When you're a member of this community and you're a member of privilege, you can't stop working, because no matter how hard we have it just significantly better than our brothers and sisters and non-binary friends who are suffering from discrimination that they face by turning on the TV, opening the door, walking outside, and simply existing. So don't just be an ally, be an active one, and don't just be a friend who comes out when things like this happen. You're here today, but what are you doing with your friends and your family and your racist uncle? And how are you making teaching moments when we're not seeing horrendous videos that are making national attention?
Thank you. Senator Juan Mendez from District 26, so this part of Tempe, I represent in the state legislature. Thank you.
Someone felt empowered, not just to hate, not just to teach their children hate, but to come onto this property and attempt to steal what this community would have given them for free. They did it on a live feed video, not just because they were proud, but because they were encouraged. Because there was a culture that allowed them to believe that whatever you do to a Muslim is A-okay. On Sunday with me, yes, she decided that she wanted to spew hateful words at me. And I made the conscious decision that I didn't have to absorb it. It didn't have to be mine. I didn't have to own it. That's why I reacted the way I did. And then when she went by and verbally attacked me again, I ignored it. And then she decided to attack a child, to call a little boy an it, to use the word transgender as a disparaging accusation against a 6-year-old kid. I decided, no, you can attack me all you want. You can call me names all you want. I'm an adult, I can take it. You don't go after children. But she was also indiscriminate in that video that every single person was a target. She used the I word, illegal immigration. She attacked people who were brown and called them illegals. Asked them if they were American. She attacked people of color in general. And she did it all under the cover of we have a difference of a policy, political opinion. I'm tired of hate being hidden under politics. Even after all the media attention from the mosque video and the video with me and the child, a Republican website, local party affiliated, posted a notice to come to my event and protest it. It's a multi-candidate event, meet and greet in the park in the middle of the day. They posted that people should go and not only counter-protest it, but called me a terrorist. You could call me ugly. You could talk about my clothes. You could talk about my policies all day. You could call me a socialist. I don't care what you call me, but you don't call a fellow American a terrorist without proof. Period. Ever. And since this happened, not one congressional candidate has reached out to this community and said, we condemn that. Not one state elected leader statewide has reached out. We've had state candidates in the state legislature. The city of Tempe, I don't think that they could run over themselves fast enough to condemn this. the patriot movement of Arizona, who allowed this to fester, who did not tell her that this was not acceptable behavior. They condemned this over and over and over. But none of our congressional leaders even said, I'm sorry that you experienced this. This is not leadership. There is the response to hate of hate, and I don't recommend it. There is a response to hate of ignore, and we've been doing it too long. But there's a space in between, and that space in between is love. Love is standing up for your brothers, your sisters, your family, your friends, your neighbors, and saying, no, you don't get to act that way to them. Or even if they are our family, friends, and neighbors, say, no, you don't get to act that way in my presence. It's a place called love. But let's start defining love, because it's a beautiful concept and everybody agrees with it. But what is it? Love is the marriage between strength and compassion. It's that marriage. As a parent, you clearly see that. You don't let your kids do everything because you love them. You teach them lessons. You give them boundaries. Love is strength and compassion in a beautiful marriage. That's where we have to remember it. And we have to decide who we are as a country. Who are we? There's people like the groups that are spreading these messages of hate, not just to Muslims, but to everybody who doesn't agree with them, everybody who has a characteristic or identity that they want to hate, they're spreading it. Is that us, or are we something else? Because I will tell you what I believe. I've been taught since birth that we're a melting pot, and I disagree with it. We are not. We're a salad. Yes. You ever had a really great salad? It's got lettuce, tomatoes, throw some strawberries inside. I mean, there's so much texture and color and beautiful in the flavor. The flavor of each piece is awesome. But you put them together, oh my God. That's what we are. That's what we got to remember. And it's not that we're fighting. We're going to love this country to the best that it can be for every single person in it.